Hi everybody, I hope you're well today. I chose another book by Shel Silverstein, which is related to the book from yesterday. The Missing Piece is what we read yesterday. Today it's The Missing Piece Meets the Big O, so the same idea from the perspective of the piece itself. And so sometimes an author will use a similar idea to write another book. That's what's happened here. Is Shel Silverstein has developed these characters, and this story is a different perspective. That's a big word that just means it's a different way of looking at something similar. So it's not the same story, but there are some similarities with the idea and the characters. The Missing Piece meets the Big O. I hope you like it. This book was written in 1981, 5 years after the one we read yesterday, The Missing Piece. The Missing Piece meets the Big O. Title page. Dedication to Joan. And here's the missing piece. The missing piece sat alone. Waiting for someone to come along and take it somewhere. Some fit. But could not roll. Others could roll, but did not fit. One didn't know a thing about fitting. And another didn't know a thing about anything. One was too delicate. So that one's a balloon that's flying. Delicate means fragile or easily breakable. Pop! One put it on a pedestal. This little thing would be like a pedestal. A pedestal is something that is higher than other things. And left it there. Some had too many pieces missing. Some had too many pieces, period. It learned to hide from the hungry ones. Here he is, hiding in the corner. More came. Some looked too closely. Others rolled right by without even noticing. It tried to make itself more attractive by decorating itself with some flowers. It didn't help. It tried being flashy. A big flashing sign that says, "Here it is," with arrows pointing to the missing piece. But that just frightened away the shy ones. At last, one came along that fit just right. But all of a sudden, the missing piece began to grow. And grow. Do you see that piece isn't fitting perfectly anymore? I didn't know you were going to grow. I didn't know it either, said the missing piece. Bye, said the missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece, one that won't increase. Increase is a word that means to get bigger. Now that word is sigh. Do you know what a sigh is? A sigh is when the missing piece makes a noise like this. That's a sigh. So he's feeling a little sad and maybe a little frustrated. One came along who looked different. What do you notice about that one? What's different about that one? Is it missing a piece? Or is it already complete? Complete, we heard in yesterday's missing piece book. Complete means all the way put together, not missing anything. So if you look at this one, you can see it's pretty complete. What do you want of me? Asked the missing piece. Nothing. What do you need from me? Nothing. Who are you? Asked the missing piece. I am the Big O, said the Big O. I think you are the one I've been waiting for, said the missing piece. Maybe I am your missing piece. But I'm not missing a piece, said the Big O. There is no place that you would fit. Oh, that is too bad, said the missing piece. I was hoping that perhaps I could roll with you. You cannot roll with me, said the Big O. But perhaps you can roll by yourself. By myself? A missing piece cannot roll by itself. Have you ever tried? Asked the Big O. But I have sharp corners, said the missing piece. I am not shaped for rolling. Corners wear off, said the Big O, and shapes change. Anyhow, I must say goodbye. Perhaps we will meet again. And away it rolled. The missing piece was alone again. For a long time, it just sat there. And then slowly, it lifted itself up on one end and flopped over. Is that a roll? Not quite yet, right? So the missing piece hasn't figured out exactly what the Big O is explaining, but it's trying. It's trying to do something different, something that can help it to grow and change. Then lift, pull, flop. It began to move forward. And soon its edges began to wear off. So the sharp edges that the missing piece had earlier are starting to get a little more round. And if you think about what might happen next, if those sharp edges are starting to get a little bit rounder, what happens if it keeps doing this, if it keeps working to change and make itself something different? lift, pull, flop, lift, pull, flop. And its shape began to change. And then it was bumping instead of flopping. And then it was bouncing instead of bumping. And then it was rolling instead of bouncing. And it didn't know where, and it didn't care. It was just moving forward. It was rolling. Who do you think this is? Is that the big O that the missing piece had met earlier in the story? That's the end of the story. Do you remember yesterday how we talked about how stories that are super simple, like this one and like the missing piece, can give you a lot of things to think about and to create your own meaning from, which means when you hear the story, you might think it means something different than someone else who hears the story. When I hear this story, I think about how great it is to have friends that help you to become something different and something better.